Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I got extensions for my birthday. Aren't they fabulous? And my stylist was a good sport and let me film the whole experience. And one of my friends was a good sport and let me film her getting her extensions. So I'm going to show you time-lapse videos of me getting my tape-ins and Angie getting her fusion or bond extensions. And then I will be back with you to discuss the difference between the two types of extensions as well as how I care for mine. So keep watching.
So many beautiful people looking for a miracle. Yeah. Woo. So many beautiful people. Woo. Beautiful people looking for a miracle. I'm looking for a miracle. A miracle. Yeah. After time and time again, I always thought it would change. Searching for my sunshine, but got caught in the rain. I can't figure out who I should blame. Is it me, is it you, or the rules of the game? Cause when I give it my all, that isn't even enough. Plus I heard the sweeter the berry, the deeper the cut. I try to take it slow, they always leave in a rush. It must be bare knuckle love, it's always beating me up. I need a miracle. So many beautiful people all over the world looking for a miracle. Looking for a miracle. So many beautiful people all over the world. All over the world looking for a miracle.
Alright, so wasn't that fun? Shelly is seriously the best stylist ever. So if you're in my area, you should definitely make an appointment for your extensions with her. But if you're not, then find a stylist that knows what they're doing, because extensions are an investment and not a cheap one. So you want somebody that knows what they're doing. And like you saw, I have the tape-ins and Angie has the fusion or bond extensions. So with my tape-ins, they look like this when they're not on your hair. This is actually one from last year, so it's kind of icky looking, so disregard that because new ones won't look like that. But it has the adhesive strip, and my stylist explains it as that piece is like a piece of bread, and then you take that piece and some of your natural hair and then another piece of bread, and that makes a sandwich. So when she orders a pack of hair, it comes with 10 pieces of bread, which makes 20 sandwiches. Wait, did I just say that 10 pieces of bread would make 20 sandwiches? Yeah, so I know it's Easter, but I'm not Jesus, so I'm pretty sure that 10 pieces will not make 20 sandwiches. So one pack comes with 20 pieces, which makes 10 sandwiches. That makes way more sense. Yes. Check my math, but yes. And in my hair, I have 2 packs, and I have the mid-length. Hotheads has short, mid, or long, and I have the mid-length. So most girls, though, it does take 3 packs to make a full set, where I only have 2 packs, and that's what I had last year as well. I don't know if that means I have a smaller head. Hopefully that doesn't mean I have a smaller brain, although there's days where I wonder. But I also have quite a bit of length and volume to my personal hair, so I think that helps with only needing the 2 packs. You would definitely need to discuss that with your stylist, because if you don't get enough hair, the ends will look straggly and nobody wants that. And otherwise you would have to take some length off of them, which some people are fine with that, but some people are getting extensions for the length, so you're not going to want to take the length off to keep them from looking straggly. So you'll want to discuss that. Where if I went with the longer extensions, then I would probably need 3 packs to keep my hair from looking straggly. So, but with the length that I'm at, I only need the 2 packs of hair. So why did I get tape-ins versus the fusions that Angie is wearing? Well, for me, it was a cost factor. The tape-ins are more expensive initially, but as they grow out, we take them out, we put new adhesive on them, And by we, I mean Shelly. I don't do any of that. She takes them out, she puts new adhesive on them, and then she moves them back up to the root, the hairline. So we can go about 10 to 12 weeks before she has to move them up. And we can do that about 3 times before the hair just is in a good enough condition to reuse it. So I got about a year's worth out of my hair. So although it was more expensive initially, I had more longevity out of it, which made it cheaper in the long run. Where if I'd gotten the fusions, they would only last about 4 to 6 months and then they would be done. So it kind of depends. If I used to be in a phase where I was changing my hair color all the time. If I was still in that phase, then I probably wouldn't spend the money on the tape-ins because I would want to change my color every 4 to 6 months, so I would need new ones anyway. But my hair was getting so damaged. I'm traditionally blonde, so we were doing a lot of bleaching to my hair because my hair wasn't the shade of blonde that I wanted it to be, and it was just making it almost straw-like, so I needed to give my hair a break. And so we put the extensions in and went darker with my hair so that the dye isn't as damaging as the bleach. So my hair has improved tremendously in the last year, and I think that is in large part due to the extensions. Part of it is that we aren't bleaching anymore, but also with the extensions I don't apply as much heat to my hair, and there's other things that have helped my natural hair along. So anyway, those are the major differences. You saw in the videos that the tape-ins have a much wider like adhesive bond, where the fusions it's like a teeny tiny. So that does make a difference when you're like pulling back your hair. Like when I try to pull mine back into a ponytail, I can wear a ponytail, but I have to keep it like looser and messier because my tape adhesive won't lay like super flat to like slick it back. Where with the bonds you can wear a tighter ponytail. I can wear a French braid, but again it has to be messy. I wear a lot of side braids and then I just bobby pin stuff where it needs to go, and all of that's fine. But even if I had the fusions, I probably wouldn't be doing a lot of tight hairstyles because doing that creates tension between where it's fused and like from your scalp to where it's fused. That natural hair in there, the tighter it is, the more tension there is there, which is going to cause breakage. And the more natural hair that breaks, then those are going to want to slip because there's not going to be hair holding them in place. So you're going to want to keep as much tension off of them as possible. So not wearing tight hairstyles is one way to do that. I sleep on a satin pillowcase. It was recommended by my stylist because for the same reason, it doesn't cause as much breakage. Like I know some girls will braid their hair, do various things to their hair before they go to sleep at night to kind of help with not causing as much friction to that natural hair bond. But I don't. I just go to bed with my hair like it is and just kind of flop it out of the way as I need to. But I do use that satin pillowcase, and that satin doesn't have as much friction, so your hair is going to slide around more, so there's not going to be as much tension. Also, that's why I didn't go with the longest length of extensions, because there's a lot more weight to the length, and so then it causes, again, more tension, which is going to cause more breakage to your natural hair. So the pillowcase, though, that I use, I will find one online and link it below so you know what I'm talking about. When I do go to sleep, I never, ever, ever go to sleep with a wet head. I did it one time with my extensions and I woke up and my head was so itchy, like so itchy. I don't know if it was the adhesive on like the scalp made it itchy, or I don't know what caused it. Maybe it was the way it was laying because it was wet. I don't know, but it was awful and so uncomfortable. So don't ever, ever, ever sleep on a wet head if you have extensions, because it's just awful. Learn from my mistake. As far as washing my hair goes, I only wash it about every 4 days. Sometimes I can stretch it a little bit longer. If there's something special going on in my life, I might wash it a little sooner. So I'm not constantly washing it. I did have cancer in high school, and the radiation treatments kind of destroyed my thyroid, so I have to take a thyroid medicine, and because of that, I have very dry skin and a very dry scalp, so I can go for days without washing my hair, and I don't even use a dry shampoo, and it's fine. Right now, I haven't washed my hair since Thursday or Friday, and it's Sunday, and I haven't used any dry shampoo, so you can see like my hair just doesn't create a lot of oils. But if you have extensions, I wouldn't recommend daily washing. I would highly recommend a dry shampoo if you need it, but I just don't have that issue. I think the more you wash them though, the more likely you are to again have that slippage where they kind of want to slide out. Where I don't really lose any extensions, they stay put. So that's probably partially due to not washing it frequently. When I do wash, when I get out, I put an oil on, and it's for a variety of purposes. It has a heat protectant in it, and it provides oil that my scalp, my super dry scalp, isn't providing. So I need that oil just on my natural hair. But even if you have an oily scalp, you're still going to need to apply an oil, because the oil from your scalp is not going to condition the extensions, because they're not your actual hair. So the bond, whether it be tape-ins or fusion, is going to block those oils from the actual hair strands. And so since your oils aren't going to be nourishing the hair, you need to add some sort of oil to it. Now, don't apply it at the scalp, because those oils, again, can cause slippage with the adhesive. So you don't want to be applying the oil up there. So I usually start about here, like not quite mid-shaft, higher than that, and go to the ends and make sure to get the ends a lot, because that's where it tends to be driest. I apply this when my hair is still wet, so fresh out of the shower, and then again before I would use any heat products. Now with my heat products, my curling iron, flat iron, all of that, I don't ever use it above 300 degrees. I don't need to. The extensions are so cooperative that they really react even if it's not super high heat, which is part of why I think my natural hair is now in such better condition with having had the extensions, because I'm not using such high temperatures on it, and I'm not going over it and over it and over it, and I don't have to do it as often. So like I will style my hair after I wash it, and then I wear it like that until I wash it again. So I might touch up a few areas if it gets funny when I sleep on it or things like that, but I don't use nearly as much heat on my hair as I did before. So I think that is helping with my natural hair to improve in condition. So there's that, which is a bonus of having the extensions. My natural hair is also more cooperative, I guess because it's sandwiched between the extensions, so it kind of reacts in the same way that the extensions do. So that was a bonus as well. Now, as far as blow dry my hair, I don't ever blow dry my hair. Shelly does. Whenever I go get my hair done, I do get my color touched up about every 5 to 6 weeks. So we will actually touch up my roots and leave the extensions in, and then I go back again to touch up the roots, and that time she will take the extensions out, color my hair. I wait a few days, I go back, and then she puts the extensions back in higher up because they've grown out so much at that point. She waits a few days in between because something about the color does something to the follicle. I think it opens it, but I don't know, I'm not a stylist, that's why I have a stylist. But I think it opens the follicle, and it takes a few days for the follicle to close, and you don't want to put the extensions on freshly dyed hair because of that change in the follicle. It could again, cause more slippage, and you don't want that. So anyway, I don't know the exact scientific reasons for that, but I do know that I follow her recommendations. So I go and I get my color on, and then I wait a couple days, and then I go back and she puts the extensions back in. So I don't blow dry my hair myself though. It's the only time I get it done is when she does it. The rest of the time I just let it air dry. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with blow drying it, but I wouldn't focus a lot of heat on the adhesive. Even when I flat iron or curl it, I try to keep the heat away from the actual adhesive strips as much as possible, because I don't think direct heat is probably good for them. So I don't super baby my hair though, so if it touches it, whatever, it's fine. I just don't, I try to like not focus the heat there. Now, as far as speaking of not babying my hair, I seriously, my stylist is always like, oh, your extensions are just so good. I just don't understand. I have girls that come in and theirs just don't wear like yours do. What are you doing? And I said, I don't take care of them. And she would probably hate me for saying this on video, but that's truly the case. Like, I don't take care of them. I think that maybe girls have more problems with them if they pay too much attention to them, like washing them too frequently or using too much heat on them, or even brushing them all the time, because brushing is going to cause, again, tension on that natural, because it's going to pull, it's going to cause tension on that natural hair that's bonding the extension to your scalp. And so I don't even brush my hair that often. There's days I probably don't brush my hair at all because it doesn't feel like it needs it. But when I do brush my hair, this is the handy dandy little brush that I use. I actually had this before I had extensions because it was one of the few brushes I could find to fit in the glove box of my Jeep, because one with a handle didn't fit because the Jeep glove box is super tiny, which is annoying. But I got this brush and I will also link it below, but the bristles are super flexible. There's hair stuck in it, so just disregard that. But I don't know if you can see how flexible these are, but I love it because it doesn't get hung up in the bonds. So like I can brush right over my scalp like this, and when it gets to a bond, the bristles just move and they go right over it, so there's no issues. And I've had fusion bonds extensions before. I did not have a full set of them, but I've had a few in for fun colors like hot pink, and when I had those, I used this brush and it didn't get hung up in those either. I do get some tangles more underneath, so I don't know if that's where girls typically have issues with matting, but they must not have this brush because, oh, there's a tangle right now. So I just take it and go like this, and I do hold it up here so that, again, then the tension is between my finger and the tangle and not putting tension on the hair that's holding the extension in place. So I get my tangles out like that, but I, again, probably don't brush my hair every day, but when I do, I just go over it like normal. I don't baby it. So if you have extensions, make sure to get a brush like this because it's amazing. But I don't baby my hair a lot, so honestly, I think that's all I do. If you guys have questions, leave them in the comments below and I would be happy to answer those. But that is my experience with tape-ins, and I love them. And like I said, this is the second go-round I've had with them, so that's how much I love them. Now my stylist is talking about learning how to do the sew-ins, so I'm very excited about the possibility of that because I would love, love, love to try those. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, because if she starts doing sew-ins, I will make sure to get those and do a video on those as well. So you want to subscribe to stay updated.
So many beautiful people.